why I suggest that you don't invest in this, and maybe you invest in this instead. Your girl CRayneG, and welcome back to my channel if you are a subscriber. And if you are not a subscriber, worry none. Hopefully after this you decide to join the family. When you are considering investing in a designer bag, there are a couple of different ways that we can look at an investment. So one way to look at an investment is by saying, well, I'm investing in this bag for me to use, for my personal use over an extended period of time. So making sure that you're investing in a bag that's timeless. Another way to invest in a bag would be that you're purchasing a bag to resell that bag. That could be a short-term resale, or potentially it could be a longer term resale, meaning that you use that bag for an extended period of time, maybe 5, 10, maybe even 20 years, you never know. Maybe you have no intentions of selling this bag, but you want to make sure that you can get your money out of the bag should need be in the future. Now, I never suggest that somebody invest in a designer item, specifically in bags, because that's what we're discussing today, as a source of primary income. You should never be stretching yourself thin or hoping that you're able to sell something to be able to pay your bills. This should be a source of additional income, something that potentially you do for fun. I know these huge investments can be fun and exhilarating, but also very dangerous. So I want to make sure that I'm kind of putting this disclaimer inside of my video today to ensure that you take the information that I'm giving you and you use it to your advantage and not towards your detriment. When I'm purchasing a designer item, I look at a number of factors. First one being, is this item functional? If the item is not functional for me and my lifestyle, because majority of my purchases are for my personal collection, then it doesn't need to be within my collection, or it's a purchase that I do not need to make. I also then look at the fact of whether or not, do I have another bag within my collection that fits this purpose? If I do, then why is this bag different to the one that I'm looking at currently purchasing? And then 3, I will always check the resale market for the item, or the secondhand market for the item. How does this item perform on the resale market? As soon as you walk out of the store with that item, it depreciates immediately. These are items that I do try to stay away from, and a lot of these items are trend-oriented bags. Not to say that you should stay away from all trend-oriented bags, as a lot of these bags do pull inspiration from classics, and a lot of the classics require a higher level of investment. So sometimes a trendy bag may be less expensive in comparison to a more classic bag. So there's a couple of things that we have to weigh out. But I want to get right into the top 5 bags that I would consider for investment purposes. This being both for my personal use and the potential of me having to sell them and be able to get my money out of them. First on the list is going to be actually a collection of bags from one specific designer. Let's just get it out of the way because you already know what it's gonna be. It is going to be the Hermes Trinity of bags, which will be your Birkin, your Kelly, and the Constance. Unlike many other designer bags, these 3 bags do not depreciate as soon as you walk out of the store. They actually appreciate immediately due to scarcity. On the secondhand market, these bags can go for double what they are actually worth. Now, the value that you will get for one of these bags is going to depend on a number of things. It'll depend on the leather, it'll depend on the combination, it'll depend on the hardware, it'll depend on the year, it will depend on the condition, and these are all things that you have to take into consideration when you're purchasing a bag. Next up on the list are going to be Chanel classics. And when I mean classics, I mean Chanel double flaps. Doesn't really matter the combination. Now, there are more sought after combinations than other, but the one that I have represented here today is a small Chanel double flap with caviar leather and silver hardware. Now, the reason why I decided to go with this specific combination was due to the fact that the caviar leather just is more durable than other leathers in comparison to the lambskin. Let's just be honest. And I did silver hardware, even though gold is more sought after because it's more classic to Chanel, just because it fits my personal lifestyle better. There was a recent article that actually showed that Chanel bags, classic Chanel bags, had actually outperformed the S&P 500. So any of you that have an investment profile may know what the S&P 500 is. If not, essentially it is a bundle of stocks that you can purchase on the stock market, which a lot of people invest in because they have really good performance. Now, when you look at the data in regards to Chanel, specifically Chanel classics again, you will notice that they are constantly increasing in price. As the retail price of these bags continues to go up year after year, season after season, you know, Chanel's always announcing, oh, we're gonna have another price increase, and everyone's like, well, how much is it gonna be this time? Their price increases are all over the board. They could be as low as 5%, as high as 20%. So definitely if you're thinking about a Chanel, then I would definitely suggest that you get one. But as those prices in the retail market continue to go up, we also see the same thing happening on the resale market. The reason being is that as Chanel pushes their prices further and further up, they start to price themselves out for certain consumers, and people will start to look to the resale market. Now, there's a lot of great bags that are on the resale market that are in great condition, and there are certain aspects of the bag that people actually like from previous years. They say maybe the quality is better. There was a year where there was no double flap, you know, things like that that people actually like about secondhand versions of the bag, as well as you're giving a bag another home. When we look at the resale market for Chanel, you have to look and say, okay, well, a small Chanel classic flap at the store is X amount, and a classic flap, the same one, a small one, on the resale market is this amount. Well, there's this difference in cost. Well, why is there this difference in cost? Well, you have to look at the year that it was purchased in. And then if you take a look at the year that it was purchased in, a lot of the time people are either getting their money out of these, very close to getting their money out of these items, or they are making a little bit of money on Chanel. Although there has been small modifications in the construction of the bag, such as carlographile, changing the clasp or the closure on the front of the bag, a lot of the things that are inherent to the bag are still there today. So the way that that bag looks today is probably very similar to the way that it's going to look 5 or 10 years from now. So if you do decide to resell that bag, it's not like somebody's gonna look at it and go, oh, well, that's an old version. The third item, which is a bag or an SLG, I'm not really sure, it's an SLG actually, is the Louis Vuitton toiletry pouch. Now you're probably like, well, why not the Speedy? Why not the Neverfull? Why not so many other classics to Louis Vuitton? Well, today I was looking online, getting some information for this video, and this toiletry pouch is selling for more than it retails for. It's crazy, I know. Now, this bag is also not a huge investment, and there's multiple ways that you can use this bag. I have an organizer that's inside of my bag, which you can probably see here, that actually allows me to be able to add a chain on to the bag. In addition to the fact that sometimes I just use this as a toiletry pouch and throw it in my suitcase or throw it in my other larger tote style bags. It has a really good function, multi-use, comes in at a really good price point, and also sells for more than it's worth retail. For the fourth item on my list, I'm again going to kind of do a category, and that category is going to be your Louis Vuitton classics. That being the Speedy, the Neverfull, and I'm gonna throw a more modern day classic in there, being the Pochette Métis. Now, although the price of these bags fluctuate up and down on the resale market, I have seen the Pochette Métis in its heyday sell for much more than it's worth, where now it sells for much closer to retail, depending on whether or not you get the empreinte leather, the reverse monogram, or the classic monogram. The prices of those ones vary slightly. Again, same thing when we look at the Neverfull and also the Speedy, but these have different purposes, and they all have great resale values, and they all come from an iconic brand that we know is going to be around and is also going to continue to produce these iconic classic bags. Also, in comparison to the earlier items mentioned on this list, these items are a lot more accessible to a broader range of consumers. So if you are looking to start your luxury or designer handbag collection, then I definitely suggest that you look at some of these classic Louis Vuitton bags. The last item that's going to be on my list of top 5 bags to invest in is going to be the Dior Lady Dior. Now, the reason why this bag falls so low on the list has specifically to do with the resale value of this bag. With the Lady Dior being around since 1995, it has all the makings of a great classic bag. The ability to go crossbody, top handle, comes in a variety of different colors, has been around for a long time, from a great fashion house. We just don't see that reflected on the resale market, and that's why I put this bag so low on the list. Now, it's not my personal style, and it's not a bag that I have been interested in purchasing. A lot of my bags stay within my collection for years, or at least until I no longer have a function for that bag, and then I will look at reselling the item to maybe purchase something that's more functional. When it comes to reselling bags, there are a number of different ways that you can do this. There are a lot of Facebook groups that connect like-minded people that are looking for specific designer items. Of course, you can look at eBay as well, or you can look at a lot of the consignment stores online. If you're interested in me doing a video on how you can resell your bags or what platforms are best to resell your bags, then definitely let me know in the comment section below. I hope that you found this video informative. Now, your top 5 bags may be completely different than my top 5 bags as you look at some of those factors that I personally take into consideration when purchasing a bag. The best investment is made in a bag that you will be able to use, that functions for you, and ultimately you love. If none of my suggested bags meet that requirement, then they're not good investments for you. Anyways, that is it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. It does really help my channel out. Until next time.